the two countries will be further enhanced. Talking to newsmen at a joint press conference, President Pervez Musharraf said that bilateral trade between the two countries will be further promoted by increasing communication network between the two countries.
We recognized that the two countries are bound through a common geography, a common history, common culture, traditions, and also a common faith. We decided to further strengthen these bonds through improving the communication links between our two countries through Kashgar in China and on to Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan, through also improving the Karakoram highway in Pakistan, so that trade and commercial activity between the two countries gets enhanced. Especially education, we decided to cooperate in the areas of science and technology, exchange of teachers, exchange of students, especially in science subjects. I have also told the President that Pakistan's doors of the defense institutions of Pakistan would be open to Kyrgyzstan for any collaboration in the training field in the defense.
The Kyrgyz President Askar Akayev paid tributes to President General Pervez Musharraf for Pakistan's efforts for establishment of durable peace and security in the region. He also lauded President Musharraf's vision of enlightened moderation. He also lauded Pakistan's pivotal role in the fight against terrorism and said that the two countries are partners in the war against the menace. He expressed the confidence that Kashmir and Palestine issues will be resolved through dialogue.
Two memoranda of understanding are being signed between Pakistan and Kyrgyzstan today on avoiding double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion and cooperation in customs matters. The Kyrgyz President and Prime Minister Shavkat Aziz will be present at the signing ceremony. An MOU will also be signed on cooperation between the foreign ministries of the two countries. The federal government will utilize all its resources for the protection of vital installations in Balochistan. This was decided at the special meeting of the Cabinet in Islamabad. The decision was also endorsed by the meeting held at the Prime Minister House under the chairmanship of President General Pervez Musharraf and Prime Minister Shavkat Aziz. Earlier, the Cabinet at its meeting deliberated upon the recent incident that had created law and order situation in Balochistan. The Balochistan government recently made a reference to the federal government for assistance to protect the Sui gas plant. The Interior Minister Aftab Ahmad Khan Sherbao briefed the Cabinet about the latest situation in Sui, which also recovered the recent attack on the plant. He also briefed the meeting about the personnel responsible for the security of the installations. The Cabinet was informed that the repair of the plant is underway and will be completed within 2 days. However, the build-up of the pressure in the pipelines will take a few more days. During the meeting at the Prime Minister House, President General Pervez Musharraf and Prime Minister Shavkat Aziz endorsed the federal cabinet's decisions. The meeting was attended by the leaders of the Pakistan Muslim League and allied parties. The meeting appreciated the work of the Parliamentary Committee on Balochistan and hoped that its deliberations will go a long way in the redressal of the grievances of the people of Balochistan through peaceful means. Later, briefing newsmen about the cabinet decisions, the Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Sheikh Rashid Ahmed, said during both the meetings the law and order situation in and around Sui was discussed and all the options were reviewed to keep intact all the national assets. He said those who are involved in an attack on national installations would be dealt with an iron hand. PTV correspondent Asmadullah Niazi says projects costing 131 billion rupees are under implementation in the province. The allocation is 14% of the annual development program. Repair work of the Sui gas plant is progressing rapidly in order to restore regular gas supply to domestic and commercial consumers. The technicians are working round the clock to restart the plant and the task is expected to be completed shortly. Corps Commander Lieutenant General Hamid Rabnawaz also visited the affected plant in Sui and saw the damage. He was informed that if the plant had not been closed, it would have caused colossal damage. The Corps Commander directed to complete the repair work on urgent basis. In Iraq, unknown armed men have kidnapped a Catholic archbishop in Mosul city as 2 U.S. troops were killed in fresh attacks in Al-Anbar province.
The Archbishop Basil Georgios Cosmosa was abducted from outside his church in the city. The Vatican said in a statement that it deplored in the firmest way such a terrorist act and asked that the Archbishop be freed immediately. The U.S. military said in a statement that 2 American soldiers were killed in action in Al-Anbar province in western Iraq. The statement added that the 2 soldiers were killed while conducting security and stability operations in the province. The latest deaths raises the death toll of U.S. military to 1,360 in action since the U.S. invasion of Iraq in March 2003. Dozens of people were killed in bloody violence across the country less than 2 weeks ahead of general elections on the 30th of this month. At least 16 people were killed in 2 separate attacks in the cities of Beji and Baquba. The Iraqi interim government claimed its soldiers had killed 35 suspected insurgents in clashes near Fallujah over the past 2 days.